Hey everyone, Ryu here. Alright. This is going to be kind of a roundabout video. It's going to kind of cover multiple things, but one general premise, and that is how to protect yourself. Now, there's one thing that I've noticed, and that is, you know, feminists, social justice warriors, basically anyone that claims to be on the right side of history, hates being on the front end of a camera. They absolutely fucking despise it. Because it's kind of hard to argue with that. Well, what am I talking about, you may be asking? Well, do you remember Miss, I think her first name's Melissa, gets a muscle dick lick click? Yeah, she absolutely hated being on a camera. And it was funny because when she was being interviewed by one of the little cuck news stations, the person doing the interview accidentally nuked her from low orbit, called her out on something massive, and actually opened up my eyes to a big fucking problem. And this was all by accident on her part, because they were trying to sit there and make her seem sympathetic and all that sort of thing. You know, they were trying to sit there and go, oh, look, see, she's not so bad. She was just having a bad fucking day. Each time video has been taken of her. You know, basically any time she's had any interaction with people that aren't in her little clique. So, what's the lesson here? If you even think that you are getting into a situation where you're going to have to deal with a fucking feminist, that, you know, assume that they're going to be batshit crazy, pull out your fucking phone. If they ask you why, just sit there and go, so I can document this conversation so there's no misunderstanding later. I mean, as long as it's legal for you to do so. Like, if you're in their house, well, what the fuck are you doing in their house? You're a fucking moron. Run. But if you're on your property, if you're out on a public street, basically, as long as it is not prohibited to have a camera rolling, if it is in a public fucking space, then you are allowed to have your camera out. No one has the right to privacy or the expectation of privacy when they are in a public space. Period. End of story. If they are interacting with you in a public space, then they cannot object to you videotaping the thing. Now, if you go ahead and you post it online and that sort of thing, they can go, oh, well, I don't want my face out online. You know, but that's usually going to come down between, you know, you and YouTube, or you and whatever video source you're being hosted on. But they cannot legally tell you that you cannot record. Do this. Because the thing is you're going to notice something. The ones that actually aren't meaning you harm are probably going to be okay with it. You know, they might be a little uncomfortable with it. I mean, hell, I would be uncomfortable if someone whipped out a fucking camera and started recording me just randomly. Fair enough. But the thing is if they were meaning to do you harm, if they were meaning, and I'm not just talking about physical harm, I'm talking about them lying to the cops and that sort of thing. The sooner you get that recording going, the better off you are. Because the cops will actually look at that video when they come out there. They'll be like, oh, well, shit. Just like with that one bitch, I forgot what it was. I think she was a cheerleader for some big team. The police went out, looked at the video that the guy had recorded, Or no, yeah, it was a video, but you could only hear the words of it in the thing that was released to the public. But he recorded her going the fuck off, threatening him, attacking him, all of that sort of shit. She called the cops on him, trying to say that he was threatening her. Well, when the cops got out there, they took a look at the video and went, well, nope, she was the aggressor. So she got done fucked up. You know, the cops were all like, yeah, you're going to jail. Because this is pretty cut and dry. With Melissa Dicklick Glick, same fucking thing happened. She was trying to sit there and say that the guy was breaking the law in some way. That she tried to say that she didn't recognize him as press, even though he said, I'm press, and she also sat there and said, help me get this reporter out of here. And then they used physical force to remove him, and he kept the camera rolling. Why? Because he knew he was going to fucking need it. Because if he had turned off the camera, he wouldn't have been able to prove anything like that, and these people will lie. Period. End of story. Another way to protect yourself. Try not to go anywhere alone. You know, if you're heading out, go out with, friends or whatever. I mean, if you're someone like me who's more of a hermit, then, that might be a little bit hard to do. And I mean, your friends aren't going to sit there and go shopping with you and babysit you. And if you expect them to do that, come on, knock it off. You're being clingy. But, don't let yourself get into a situation like that unless it is absolutely unavoidable. Be smart about it. If you follow those two things, it's actually really hard for them to pull that bullshit on you. Especially if they don't have their friends with them and they're sitting there and say, oh, well, it was the two of them. It's all like, well, at that point, it's two people's word versus one. And then if you also have the camera, well, shit. I mean, they're kind of toasted at that point. And the cool thing is if they reach for your camera and try to take it out of your hand, not only is that battery at the least, but it's also attempted theft if you really want to push the envelope. And depending on your phone or device, if it's a really expensive camera, it can actually be considered grand theft. I forget what the cutoff is for grand theft. It might vary from state to state. But, yeah. So, and if they end up damaging it, well, then that's destruction of personal property. And it also is, and them just reaching for the camera is considered an act of aggression. Remember, 3 acts of aggression, you can defend yourself legally. That doesn't mean you're able to sit there and Hulk out and just fucking, ogre slam them all over the fucking place. You can't fucking do that. But you're allowed to put distance between you and them at the least. They throw a punch at you, well, now they've escalated it. Now you can go ahead and throw a punch. Meet force for force. The reason why I'm saying this is because at times you will be in a situation like that. And I don't buy into this, oh, she's a girl, you can't hit her mantra. And I teach my daughter the same thing. I'm all like, if someone sits there, if you are attacking someone and they hit you back, you do not have a right to bitch about it. You do not have the right to complain. If you see a teacher trying to punish a boy because you hit him and then he shoved you or hit you back, you tell her, no, that you were the one who started it, and you argue with that teacher right then and there, that will accomplish two things. One, it's going to draw attention to what that teacher is doing. And two, it's going to get you a lot of respect from the other students. Because no one likes a prissy, entitled little bitch. No one. Not even other prissy, entitled little bitches. In fact, they see them as competition. That doesn't mean go out looking for a fight. You know, no. Don't go out looking for a fight. Don't go out with the intent of antagonizing. Although, if that is your thing, make sure to get it recorded. You know? Make sure you are not coming off as actually threatening. You know, if you're sitting there and you're spewing hate facts, then by all means, do it. Because at that point, you can sit there and say, prove that what I was saying is not true. Because the thing is sitting there and quoting statistics is not hate speech. As much as these liberals and feminists and all that would absolutely love to have it be considered hate speech, it isn't hate speech. It is called telling the fucking truth. It is called acknowledging fact. It is called being a reasonable, well-educated adult. It is the opposite of being a bigot. But make sure you have a camera rolling. Make sure that it's charged, so you're not going to run out of battery, so they can't run out the clock on you. Make sure you have plenty of fucking memory in your camera, ready to fucking go, so you can do this for the long haul. Because they'll try to stall. They'll try to get you to turn off the camera. They'll try to get you to drop the camera. They'll try to get you to focus the camera away from them just long enough for them to hit you or something. Do not let them do any of that. Just be smart about it. Honestly, if you can afford it, get a dash cam for your car. The reason why I say this is because if someone goes ahead and starts fucking road raging, and then they happen, you know, if you're white or male and they happen to be female or black or any of these protected fucking classes, they'll sit there, road rage on you, and then try to somehow say that you were attacking them and that it was a racist or sexist or homophobic or Islamophobic or whatever fucking phobic or ism attack. Trying to get you imprisoned for their bad actions. Women are notorious for this. So be safe, be smart, use protection in any and all encounters with women. And I am not talking just about cameras. I'm talking condoms, preferably abstaining, go out and get yourself a sex bot or fucking prosty. Trust me, it's money much better invested and you have much less risk. But yeah, go ahead and make sure that you have your ass covered. Absolutely 100%. Because if you don't, that's when you're going to take it up the ass. Every time. As long as you follow that, you should be pretty fucking good to go. Obviously, it's going to come down to the police that respond and also the judge that you get. But at least you have a fighting chance. And at least at that point, you can appeal. Have a good night. Stay safe. Talk to y'all later.